Duke versus Michigan, two highly rated teams. It's going to be fun. I think it's kind of cool, honestly. It adds like extra life, extra like sauce, I guess you could say, into the season.
I love this. I love everything about this. I know some people find this a little awkward, but I feel like it, gives a little bit of a break from the Big Ten, but also you're like not taking a break because you're playing one of the best teams in the country. So it challenges us, and I love playing against the best top-tier teams in the country. It's something that I dreamed of when I was a kid.
It's always a slippery slope. Do we take a week off and risk getting out of rhythm, getting a little bit stale, or continuing to push forward with games? And we thought with the rhythm our team's in, how we've been playing, this comes at a good time, and we're going to leave this game knowing more about our team.
Inside Michigan Basketball is presented by Meyer.
Welcome, everybody. Dusty May said they were going to treat this like an NCAA tournament game. The quick study in open practice on Saturday here in D.C., and they even used a different basketball, the one used during March Madness. The lead-up was certainly there, and so was the game itself.
Take what the game gives us. This isn't a game where we come out and we have the mindset that I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. This is a game, we take what it gives us, we take the right matchup, we continue to hunt advantages, and we play off that, spacing and respacing. The more we space the floor, the more it allows our quickness to get to where we want to get in the paint and make plays. Remember, offensive rebounds equal stops. Every time we get an offensive rebound, and think about Purdue. It broke their will. Miss a shot, rebound. Kick it out, miss a shot, rebound. It breaks their will, fellas. Defensively, Church said it, nothing easy. Nothing easy. There's no direct passes to the rim. It's going to come down to shots battle. The turnovers, the offensive rebound. Who gets more shots tonight wins the game. Who's going to make the most invisible plays? The cut to get your teammate a shot, the screen to get your teammate a shot, or the deflection that allows us to get another possession.
This was the first meeting between Michigan and Duke since the fall of 2013 in the Big Ten ACC Challenge. Strong pace in the early going. Yaxel Lendeborg doing much of the damage for the Wolverines. He scored 12 of their first 19, hitting inside and outside.
Leans in, Euros bank, scores, counted to foul. Left wing Lendeborg dials up a three ball and knocks it down. Yax with 10 early.
He scored 16 in the opening stanza. Michigan went up 5, but Duke answered with a 10-2 run. Cam Boozer finding Caleb Foster for a triple to tie the game at 19. The fellow National Player of the Year candidate does it all for the Blue Devils.
Cam Boozer left point, working it on McKinney, takes it underneath, laid it up and in over Mara.
There were 13 lead changes in the half as the game went back and forth. Michigan was hamstrung by big man Adai Mara picking up 3 fouls and playing only 6 minutes in the half. Later, the Wolverines working the pick and roll to perfection.
Dances ahead of the key, give it Johnson, goes up and jams it! A double clutch over Boozer!
LJ Kaysen continues to shine off the bench, hitting back-to-back buckets just before the half.
Drives in again, leans, lost it, got it back, flings and scores. Over Homenya, he took him to school, 32-29 Wolverines.
Duke scored the final 6 points heading into the intermission, taking a 35-33 lead at the break. Second half, Mara in after the first media timeout and right away responding at both ends of the court, playing aggressively despite those 3 fouls. But Michigan was chasing. Boozer, the ultra-quick move for an and one.
Feed the post, Boozer spins on Gale, leans in, layup. Yes, they're going to count it, continuation and a foul.
He led him with 18 points, 10 boards, and 7 assists. The Duke lead grew to 8, but the Wolverines striving for a late push. Mara gets the tip in, he finished with 10. Then Lendeborg with a second chance 3.
Lasso's a pass, Cadeau. Extra feed, Lendeborg, right wing of 3.
Yes, sir.
1 point game, 3:43 left.
He put 21 in the score sheet. But Duke would close it out 68-63. A crowd of over 20,000 in attendance at our nation's capital. The Wolverines dropping just their second game of the season.
It was a fun game, real exciting. The shots just weren't falling for us today. We were 6 for 25 from 3. That's not us. We got hopes that we'll see them again, and we'll, make use of that. And today we weren't being as aggressive as normal as well, so that kind of killed us throughout the game.
Looked like you guys had some trouble getting the ball maybe inside and driving the ball more than normal. Just talk about that and how much of that was their defense and how much of it was you guys maybe just being off a little bit.
Yeah, they have a really good defense, and they were in the gaps really, really well. I would say if our shots were falling, I feel like we would have a lot more gravity and more space to drive. But like I said, it wasn't falling for us today. So it kind of threw all of us off rhythm, and pretty much just had to change the whole game plan up for it.
They got you guys on the boards tonight. That doesn't happen too often. Just tell me what you saw from that perspective.
I would say just it hurt us when Adai started getting in foul trouble, because he's a big guy that takes a lot of attention on the boards, and it makes it easier for the guys like me, Roddy, Rez, go in and get rebounds. Just got to build on that, and try not to foul as much as we did this game, and just get better next time.
What do you take away from this entire experience?
It was great. Playing in an NBA arena with that many fans, it was great. Super loud environment, and playing against a really good Duke team, it was really really fun.
And lastly, how do you think this will help you guys now when you get into those tough games in March?
We're going to be a lot more composed and poised than we were today. We had a chance to give ourselves a shot to tie the game up with a 3, and then we didn't get the rebound. Ended up we having a foul. Now we're down 5. So that play right there alone pretty much changed the whole tone of the game.
It was a fun game. You would love to be in an environment like this, playing an NBA arena against a top team like that. It just sucks that we lost. Yeah.
When you look at the struggles tonight, where were they, and how can you guys learn from this?
It was really on the glass. We did a poor job of rebounding, and a big part of that was because Adai was in foul trouble, but we all got to step up and carry his load if he's in foul trouble like that.
Props to Duke. They're a very well-coached team, very physical team. Executed their game plan. I expect to see those guys deep in, March Madness run, but ultimately we just lacked that kind of physicality we usually bring to the game, and they kind of beat us to some 50-50 balls and loose balls, and we're able to kind of control the glass, which normally we kind of control the glass. So I'm glad that we were able to kind of experience what it feels like, and hopefully this lesson can be learned from this.
Still to come, Dusty May joins us one-on-one. The Wolverines started their week with a rousing road win, and another jersey hits the rafters at Chrysler. Inside Michigan Basketball is brought to you by Meijer, proud supporter of hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest, and by Michigan Medicine. There's a difference between an answer and a Michigan answer. Joined by head coach Dusty May here in D.C. And Dusty, get us started maybe just with a few quick thoughts on your perspective from this one.
Yeah, I thought we did some things well when it wasn't going the way we needed to offensively. We manufactured enough points to stay in the game. And then defensively, other than a couple loud errors, I thought we did a good job of guarding the ball, of having good personnel awareness, and they just made a few more plays than we did.
The foul trouble in the first half for Adai, just how big was that in the context of this game?
Yeah, Adai's got to learn, early, his first foul was a missed block-out foul, and then that it has such a bigger impact whenever his second one is a call that, you could go either way, and it happens, but we need him to be in the rotation and on the floor earlier in the game if we're going to be the best we can be.
Given that circumstance, Yak certainly picked his game up there in the first half. Did you see something in him like, hey, this team needs me right now? Was he more aggressive or something than normal?
He had a little hop in his step. Obviously, the environment, the magnitude of the game. He was excited to play, and he was able to capitalize on his opportunities in the first half. I thought he had the same looks in the second half, and they just didn't drop. There were 2 or 3 that, from our angle, it looked like they were going in, and they just didn't, and that's part of the game. But the thing that ultimately killed us was just the plays, the second shots, the loose basketballs that we weren't able to come up with.
I wanted to ask you about that. Not many teams have defeated you guys on the boards this year. A couple of the guys mentioned we just lacked physicality. Is it that simple?
That's part of it, and they're big and they're strong and they play with great physicality, but some of it is just they're really well trained to go get their own misses, and when I shoot it I have an advantage because I can read where it's going quicker, and that's why our teammates have to do a better job of coming in and getting in the fight quicker and earlier, and we weren't able to do that. But once again, it wasn't as if that Duke didn't earn those plays or didn't outcompete us.
All right, and lastly, Coach, just talk about this experience and also how this is going to help your team as you get into those battles in March when it's one and done.
Yeah, and I'll be shocked if we're not significantly better from this experience in the short term and long term. Obviously, if the stars align, we'll have an opportunity to play them again in a similar type environment. But just to play in a game that is this type of atmosphere for the enterprise of college basketball, for our fans, you wish you could get over the hump for them, but we appreciate them coming out, and it just is, as you're evaluating what you do, like for us to be playing in these games is pretty cool.
Dusty, as always, thanks for your time.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
After the break, a deep dive on one of the most impressive road wins in the Big Ten this season.
As far as the #1 ranking, it means absolutely nothing right now. I don't know what any staff that I've ever been on, what we were ranked at the end of the year, to be honest. I don't recall and don't really care. So it's awesome for our fans. It's cool for the energy and intensity that it brings to the games and being able to do cool things like college game day and whatnot. But as far as internally or me emotionally, it doesn't mean anything. Poise and response, there's going to be runs, there's going to be crowd, all the other stuff. Our poise, our response, we just can't let one mistake become two. Get to the next thing, every single possession has a life of its own. We are prepared and we are connected. That is the key when you come into to Mackey Arena in these environments. We're prepared as a group, you guys have put in the work, you've done every step necessary to get here, and we're connected as a group, we're not going to splinter away. That's how you get a win here. And guys, all the other stuff, we can back it up. Not many teams can come in here, whatever they say, whatever said, let's go back it up tonight.
The Wolverines and Boilers with their one and only regular season matchup this year. How often have we witnessed this? Adai Mara establishes himself early as he takes the lob from Elliot Cadeau.
Head of the key, an alley-oop from Cadeau up to Mara, crunches it and hits the mute button here at Mackey Arena.
And then the big guy sprints down the floor and is rewarded by Cadeau again. Mara had 10 points and 11 rebounds. Michigan setting the tone early on the boards with 14 second chance points in the opening frame. A third offensive rebound on this trip results in an open three for Yaxel Lindebord. The Wolverines were down 11-10 before going on a 16-0 run. Mara with the dish to Roddy Gale Jr. as they assisted on their first 14 buckets.
Lob it up, Mara catches right baseline, lassos a pass into a lay-in for Gale. Dynamite feed from Adai Mara.
LJ Kaysen, Will Cheddar, and Trey McKinney all dropped threes during Michigan's hot first half as the bench accounted for 34 points. The team hit 8 long balls in the opening frame, 13 for the game.
And Cheddar able to somehow get the rebound, kick it out left wing. McKinney knocks down a three.
This was really a clinic in the first 20 minutes, leading by as many as 20 and up 48-32 halfway home. Elliot Cadeau continued Michigan's marksmanship from distance. He scored 13 of his team-high 17 after the break and ran the show for the Maize and Blue. Every time it seemed Purdue tried to make a run, the Wolverines had an answer.
Now against Kaufman-Renn, jump stop in the lane, floats it and scores it. Elliot Cadeau has been brilliant since halftime, a dozen for Michigan since the break.
All-American Trey Kaufman-Renn single-handedly kept the Boilers in the game. He scored a season-high 27, but they could never establish the extended run they needed.
Left side, Lindebord tries three. Bullseye! Michigan's 13th triple, 79-63 Michigan.
Michigan wins 91-80, their 5th highest point total at Mackey Arena, and their most there since 1989. 6 players hit double figures as the club went to 25-1 with its 11th straight W.
Once again, to see you guys do it together, I mean, that was a street fight. That was a taxing game. Everyone that played made positive contribution. We stayed the course and we made big play after big play. Fellas, when they go on a run and that place erupts like that, most teams fold. You guys are unfreaking flappable, man. Unfazed, unflappable.
The energy in the arena tonight was ridiculous, man. It was super loud in there. And, man, everything is really about just keeping your composure, staying together, and making the little plays to win the game. And that's what we did tonight.
Coming off our #1 ranking for the first time, we all felt like we had something to prove. And we just tried to bring a chip on our shoulder coming into this building.
I thought our maturity in the first half was impressive. We were battling on the glass. We played with great poise while also playing with great tempo and took care of the basketball. And we were able to get good shots every possession. And we had them in rotations, and therefore we were able to get on the offensive glass a little bit more than usual. And then the second half, I thought our guys just simply answered every run that Purdue made with amazing individual plays. And so that's what you need when a place erupts like Mackey did tonight.
What does it take to do that on the road? You can talk about it, you can try to get them in that mindset, but ultimately it's really tough to pull it off.
Talent and basketball IQ are the two things that stand out. And then obviously when your bench is fresh and they come in and they produce like these guys continue to do, then that just gives you a jolt when your main rotation guys can take a break and then come into the game, and the reserves have extended the lead. So it's a luxury that we don't take for granted.
When we return, the women with a season sweep of the Spartans. The week began February 15th with Michigan honoring the program's first All-American. Before the Michigan State game, Naz Hillmon saw her number raised to the Chrysler Center rafters, with head coach Kim Barnes-Arico sporting Naz's number 0. Hillmon remains the only player in Wolverine history to record more than 2,000 points and over 1,000 rebounds.
I have a lot of people to thank who pushed me over the years. Firstly, my teammates. You are forever my sisters. There's no other group of women I've wanted to battle with every single day. I learned so much from each and every one of you. To Coach Arico, I thank you for giving me the opportunity to play at the best university of the world, to be a leader and best on and off the court. I thank you for believing in me when I didn't believe in myself, teaching me the art of never getting too high or getting too low, and always telling me when I was wrong in our long chats that were supposed to be 5 minutes but ended up being an hour long. You walked me through some of the hardest moments of my career and cheered me on during the best. No matter the circumstances, I always knew that you would be there for me. Coach, I thank you. Lastly, but certainly not least, to the fans, the best fans in the world. I appreciate you for welcoming me and my family throughout this entire journey. Thank you, and forever and always, go Blue.
To make it even better, nearly 12,000 fans showed up to honor Naz, and they got to watch the Wolverines pull off a season sweep of MSU. The Wolverines scored the first bucket of the game before MSU took the lead and held it throughout the first quarter. Kennedy Blair gave Michigan State a 21-15 edge. She led the visitors with 21. Michigan answered with a 19-2 second quarter run to take and keep the lead.
How about Holloway straight on for 3? You betcha! Olsen around Van Sluten's hedge, pull up right of the elbow, banks it in.
The Wolverines led 41-30 at intermission. Michigan continued to pull away in the second half.
Kick out Swords, open 3, you betcha!
The sophomore class led the way again with Silas Swords finishing with 24 points. Olivia Olsen had 23, and Mila Holloway ran the floor and chipped in with 15. 86-65 the final from Chrysler Center.
To get the sweep, I mean, it's really, really, really special, and it means a lot for our former players that have come through the program to see the team. They try not to miss a game. They turn on the TV every time we're playing. They come to the arena whenever they can. So they're feeling like they're a part of it as well, and I think that's really special, and that's kind of the environment we want to create.
Huge game Sunday at Iowa. The Hawkeyes just one game behind the Wolverines in the bid for second place in the Big Ten. We're back to wrap the show up right after this. Inside Michigan Basketball is brought to you by Meijer, proud supporter of hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. We are officially in the home stretch. 2 more weeks, 4 more games. Tuesday at home against Minnesota, and then Friday on the road against Illinois. Champaign, always a tough place to win. We'll break it down for you next week on Inside Michigan Basketball. Hope to see you then.